a friend of mine asked me to carve him a bird feeder wood spirit. And I did one really quick and I wasn't happy with it, so I got this piece of western red cedar here. We'll try and carve another one. Just thought it's my first day back carving, probably in a good week and a half, I think. But I don't even know, because it said this thing was having problems. I don't know if this is live or not. Anyways, it says somebody's here. So we call the first one a prototype, a just carved rub prototype. And I got to make sure I can read the comments. Oh, chat messages are visible. Hi, Derek. One of mine. Night owl. Hi there. Okay, well, thanks for popping in quickly. So, like I was just saying, I'm going to finish this eagle tomorrow. It's got to go in the spirit trails. But I carved, my buddy wanted me to carve him a bird feeder. Can you guys hear me all right? I got earbuds in. Does it sound like I'm tapping on a speaker right now? I don't know if it's recording through my earbuds or through the phone itself. Okay. A little traffic in the background, but does it sound like I'm tapping on a speaker right now? Or not? Hey James, how are you? No? Okay, so it's just still recording on my phone. So like I was saying, big shout out to James Rankin. Thanks for that beautiful card that you sent me. I love it. I'm keeping it. I'm actually going to put it in my room. Card, and he chipped in and he sent Spike some money for his Spike's wheelchair fundraiser GoFundMe thing. So, hey Darren, how's it going? Trees to these. I haven't had time to really do much YouTube lately. So a big thanks to James. And yeah, so I did a prototype. I just carved raw prototype. Did I just hear a dog bark? I'm going to take these earbuds. Well, I might as well keep them in. I'm going to be chainsaw carving. So I think this, I sent the picture. So we call this a just carved raw prototype. Slow down, Jordy. It is a wood spirit bird feeder. And I sent just carved Rob a picture when I was done it. And he just goes, LOL. And I go, what? He goes, maybe the birds will be too scared to eat out of it. So you put the bird food in here. So we'll call this one the prototype. Just carved Rob always making fun of me. Oh, I always listen to music. So this is the prototype, so we'll try and carve a better one. I think his eyes are kind of... I had a trouble with this one because I had a knot right here. See that knot? And that wood's super soft. Hey Mark, how are ya? So a bird feeder wood spirit. So this is the prototype. We'll try and make a better one. Now he told me he wanted it 12 to 14 inches long, but it wasn't to scale. So I'm just going to carve a longer one. And if he wants to buy the longer one, he can buy the longer one. So you can put the bird food in there. Yeah, that's not cancer. Anyways, I just carved Rob, just showing everybody the prototype that you're laughing at. And I laugh too because I don't think birds will eat out of this. Probably be too scared. So maybe we'll try and carve another one with, we'll hollow out the eyes. This one, it wasn't to scale really. But anyways, let's try carving another one. I'm going to be running my Echo 2511. And guess I got to get on it. Yeah, bird feeder wood spirit. Or squirrel feeder. So, anyways. Okay, so this is, I don't know, this is like 10 inches. I don't know do I want to make it a wizard? Could make it a wizard. Then down here, it'd be the bird feeder thing. I don't know. Let's just go for a wood spirit. Let's just carve this whole thing so there's like a wood spirit. There's a thing for the birds to eat the food out of. Take a shit. So your eyes. Center line. Your nose. So you can see I'm not a very good artist. Anyways, I'm going to fire up the chainsaw and start carving this. You guys can chat amongst each other. I'm going to put my dust mask on. So that's all right. I'm leaving this one a little bit more nice. It's probably hard to see. See the bowl down here? Put your bird food. I don't know. I'm gonna cut this part off later. I'll spin it around. I just cut and having a good time. Hi, Amy. Is that an older Echo 2511? I don't know. It's a year old. I don't know if a year old's older or not. I just don't know if it's a year old or not. I got a cement mixer today for a mystical enchanted path that I'm making at my house. Cement path. 26 bags of concrete I need to mix, so I got myself a cement mixer for super cheap. Yep. And then when I'm done everything I need to do, I'm going to sell it. Can't read anybody if anybody's there. All messages are visible. There you go. Hi from Indiana. Hi Bob from Indiana. Kind of hard for me to read the comment. My glasses are getting all foggy. Where's Just Car Rob? Evil Rick here? Spike here? I love those boxes that you're doing the wood burning on, Amy. They look fantastic. Excuse me. Yeah, it's starting to warm up here now. I'll probably just leave this. Amy, what are you doing? You think I got a... Thanks, Amy. You shouldn't have done that. You work hard for your money, but I appreciate it. Super Amy. Amy's the number one chatter of this group. Super Amy of Joe. You think I should make a video making that the enchanted backyard path? Man, lots of work. I gotta love. My buddy Brendan's gonna help me. He told me. My buddy Brendan. He's like, he goes, just so you know, I definitely don't want to do it. I'm not interested in doing it, but I'll help you. Because I got to level it out with stuff, sand and stuff first. If it was me, I'd just put, because I got like a mold for like cobblestone or something. I don't know. I got a mold for concrete. So, for a path thing. The box did dry very good. I don't know why you don't message me. So I'll be doing that. I'll be finish up this eagle tomorrow. I'm not going to film. I got to get it done. I think the word's procrastinating. I'm going to put abalone shell in the eyes and stuff like that. So anyways, this here piece here, I'll probably just hollow out the eyes. I'll probably pull out, oh, I didn't carve nostrils in the last one. So I think it's almost die grinder time right now. What do you guys think? You guys think it's die grinder time? I don't know. I'm not keeping up with all the friggin' comments. I was scroll sawing today. Oh, nice. Yeah. So my buddy Brendan's like, yeah, we gotta film this for YouTube. I'm like, fuck man. I've watched every video on YouTube how to make those paths with that cement mold. I've watched every single video how to do it. If it was me, I wouldn't even bother flattening the ground. I'd just put it over top of whatever's there. I just want to get it done. I don't want it to be muddy for this winter where I live. Had too much to drink. Thanks. You gotta get shit-faced. Yeah, I gotta get shit-faced one of these days. I haven't been shit-faced in a long time. But I gotta stay home when I get shit-faced, so I don't go out and be an idiot. Because when I'm shit-faced, I think I can take the whole. Okay, so I'm gonna put my mask on. So you guys probably aren't seeing the best today. I'm gonna put my turn my die grinder on and smoothen all this whole thing out. I don't know. You don't want to be flying your little charcoals around your tent or your carving area. So I just kind of get into it. Hello, hello. So number one. Hi, buddy. Number one. This one's kind of spooky looking. We're number two. Put the birds stuff in there. You can always make this a succulent holder. Hi, Andrew. I just carved this, kind of look like bark up here. I have plywood. So, got toe down there, bird food or a plant or something. So this one. This one. One or two. What do you guys think? Oh, thanks. Number one. Like them both. Yeah, they're both different. That's the thing. I kind of like this one. He's kind of got googly eyes. Let's see. Yeah, he's kind of got googly eyes. You know, I could easily fix that and carve these eyes right out. You know, like one day on today and the next day on tomorrow. Who thinks I should carve those eyes right out? Where can I leave it? Gives it character. Hey, Tim. Thanks. Carve the eyes out, the pupils out. Yeah, just give them character. I could, yeah, because you got the knot. See that knot right there? It's like soft wood. I've been using fake glass eyes. Yeah, the only thing about using fake glass eyes, I've done all that when I first started. If it's for outdoors, they fade after a while. Man, it's getting hot. Looking down at a plant. Oh, nice, buddy. You're looking down at a plant? Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of what I made it for, so he'll be looking down. Because he'll be up on a tree, right? That's what a friend wanted, one of these for his tree. So he could put bird food in, or whatever inside here. I don't know. I can do another one. I can carve all freaking day right now. But I am sweating. Full, just leave them. Yeah, I say so. Hi, Jim. I haven't seen you in a while. Who thinks I should carve another wood spirit? I got a nice block of 6x6 old Western red cedar right here. Show you guys how to carve like a fence post. That's a big fence post, but if you have like a 4x4, how to use the edge, how to use the corner of it to get your nose to pop out really fast. Where's just carve Rob? The real Geordie hater. Yeah, makes fun of all my carvings all the time. I'm just kidding. He doesn't. He encourages me. We encourage each other. I don't know how much room I got left on my battery. I'm having a real problem seeing this screen. Chinese, Japanese, all mixed. No, me Chinese, me Japanese, me all mixed up. I don't know. That was a kid joke. When we were allowed to joke like that. I guess times have changed. Just carved, Rob. Okay, so yeah, like should I carve another wood spirit? I can do a planter on one of these blocks. I hate planters though. The question is I've had to postpone. I just carved, Rob. I've had to postpone the steampunk challenge because I just had so much shit going on. I still do. Like I'm moved into my place now. I got 80% of it set up. But now I want to do all the work on the yard. And I gotta work because I haven't been working or carving to make money. So I gotta work too. And yeah. I don't know what my point of that was. Yeah, it's still going. Yeah. I'll just have to kind of actually, the box of prizes that I got, I just pulled the towel over them and I said, no, those are the prizes for the steampunk challenge. So that's still going, but it will have to probably still about another month or two away. I got my desk in my carving room. A nice desk. I made a silly little video about it. I got the aluminum plate in there. Yeah, changes. This place is a lot better suited for me. I'm able to use all the things that I have instead of just like 2 empty rooms with things that I barely even use. Okay, so I'm going to pull out one of those old cedar blocks here and carve another spirit. I don't care. I'll carve them all friggin' day long. I got to carve a bunch and post them for sale. I still got to get a crane and get those big fountain carving into my tent and stuff. You guys want to go outside for a second or see the fountain, the eagle fountain and the pea roof treehouse? The Carving Fusion Piss Copper tree roof house thing. I'm going to melt in the sun. Where's my coffee? Oh boy. Yeah, I can't wait to get this one home, especially get the water pieces going. But look how green that copper's going. Whatever you do, if you come into a Carving Fusion tent and Carving Fusion is here, do not drink the apple juice, okay? Don't drink the apple juice. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, Carving Fusion is out of the area. Please do not drink the apple juice. Well, you can if you want. Don't drink the apple juice. I don't know, maybe some people like to drink this type of apple juice. It's a strange, strange world. Thanks, Bunny. Little hopper. How you doing, buddy? Don't drink the apple juice. Anyways, that's it. Enough being silly of that. The little mushroom man that I carved. I think I carved that last week. I gotta get this eagle done tomorrow. So I got some abalone shells here. Where did I put? Oh, they're in my car. Put the apple juice far away so you know not to drink it. Yeah, tuck it away. I got some abalone shell to put in the eagle eyes. And I kind of just did some big silly tillage. I still have to carve all this. This is a memorial piece for my for a friend that passed away. Anyways, I'm gonna get this piece here set up. Show you guys how to use a nice little buddy hopper. I don't know if my phone dies, it means, well, my battery's dead. Hello, how you doing today? You having a good day today? That's good. Whatever which one he doesn't want, I'm going to keep it. Hey, can somebody send me a screenshot? Can somebody take a screenshot of this right now? And so I can send it to Buddy, see which one he wants. Just somebody take a screenshot and send it to me. My arms are getting tired. Okay, I'm going to put it down. So always look at the top where your cracks are. So I can see my cracks are this way. So, oh, look at a nice brown old piece of cedar. So I'm going to carve a wood spirit on this corner here. So what you do, happy Canada Day yesterday from everybody yesterday. What you do is you just turn your jaw horse. This chair is the biggest, it's a comfortable chair, but it's the biggest headache in my life in this tent. So we want to have this a planter up here too. I'll do that after the video. I'll haul it out. So, you know, this is just an easy way. Thanks, Just Carved Rob. So this is just an easy way to get it. You guys, should we go for a huge nose sticking off the face? Because, hold on, I gotta do some camera stuff here so people understand. Hello. So that's circle for my planter. But if you got this angle here, like a fence post, you can get your fence post and you can cut it right here. So you have two carvings, one here and then one here. Two separate carvings, and they make great wall hangers. But because you got this angle here, it's really easy to get your nose to stick far off the face. Like I'm telling you, should I give this guy a huge nose? Like sticking far off the carving? See, to get this nose to pop off, all I have to do, pretend this is my chainsaw bar. Cut here, remove this wood, cut here, then do this and cut that. There, boom, there's your nose. Remove this wood here, remove this wood down here, there's your nose popping off. Okay, I'm going to carve like a freak here. Huh? Yeah? I'm going to fuel up. And I'm going to carve like a psychopath. I'm going to carve like there's no tomorrow. And I hate it when I lose. Oh, there it is. Hey, James, should I carve like a psychopath? Like to get that nose to stick really far off, I'd have to cut all this back, like this. Boom. I'm going to do that right now. Let's go. Go like this. All of this off to the tip of the nose. That's the advance. That's it. That's the ticket. I just wanted to do that to show everybody, all the you beginning Dremel carvers. Look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. So when I carve the eyes and it's already sloped back, I just have to take some more of the forehead back. Oh, this is nice brown cedar. Nice dark cedar, super soft. Okay, I'm gonna get my, I'm gonna build Echo 2511. And then I'm gonna put my mask on, I'm gonna go crazy. Safety crazy. You see, just because I did that with the chainsaw doesn't mean you can't do this cut here with a Dremel. Just cut and remove the wood and see, we'll slope that back too. So, center line. See, for me, this is just about carving and shaping and having fun. Oh, that's so well done. ran it completely out of gas. That's where the wood used to be, right there. Still take those eyebrows way down. I was kind of battling when I was carving this, just because, well, I was just trying to rush and I was being silly. There's still lots more carving to go on this. And actually, when I was carving this, I was like, why am I carving this piece of cedar so fast and silly when it's such a beautiful piece of wood? What the hell is going on with this thing here? It's alright. That's not right. Alright, everybody. It's hot. So that's just to show you how really to get a Brody that's struggling to get your nose to stick farthest off the face. And it's not a big deal if you don't. That's how you do it. On a fence post corner like that. Oh, it's hot. I think I'm going to wrap her up for the day. Anybody got any questions? If anybody's even there, is anybody out there? Oh wait, it does that. That would be me that can't do that. We. So I showed you guys the side view of this one that I was working on. That's how you get, even with the Dremel carving, cut your fence post in half. You get 2 wall hangers out of it. Oh, that's good. Yeah, instead of, what was that tool that I used? Yeah, I got my fan on, James. Still, man, it was like 28 here a couple days ago. I might finish this one offline so I can concentrate more. It's such a nice piece of cedar to ruin it. Yeah, that was a die grinder. That was a Metabo. Thanks. Was that Perry? You Perry? Hi Perry. Yeah, that was a Metabo die grinder, or you can get a Makita die grinder, or you can get. Mark, can you tell me please why my chainsaw tip keeps bouncing? Well, do you have a, hi John, do you have a chainsaw carving bar? Because the chainsaw carving bars don't, the tips don't bounce. You gotta watch out for that, because when that's bouncing like that, the tip, that's called kickback. It can kickbacks, it can hit you in the face. So you gotta be super careful of that. No mate, yeah, you need to get yourself a carving bar. Excuse me. The carving bars have less kickback. They got no sprockets in them. Normal bars, maybe it bounces because maybe you've taken the rakers down too low. I notice when I'm doing like a rip cut and my rakers are too low, like too low, it will bounce in the wood. So well, I could carve a tree. Hi Susan. I can carve a tree right now. The thing about this is I don't want to put it down because I've basically done all the chainsaw carving. If I put this one, stop working on it, it'll be hard for me to finish it. So yeah, it's probably because you don't have a chainsaw carving bar. I don't know. Let me look at this. See, I left this top flat so somebody could put a planter on there. Just a little planter. That's a lot more carving than I thought it was going to be. Anyways, there's your nose. That's how you get your nose to stick farthest off the face. I could push those eyebrows way back. Get some paint in here, black. Or actually I had some paint here. Well, I'm gonna get some black paint. It's nothing special, but it's a wood spirit, and people will buy this all day long. You know, as long as you're trying new things, you're gonna keep learning. On this one, I was trying new things. There you go. So I'm sure it wasn't very much help to any of you, but there's a couple wood spirits. Hey Dave over there, and thanks Dave, that's nice of you to say, and you're right. Wood carvings do make people feel good over there in Duncan. Thank you. Now these ones are just whatever. My 1/4 inch Kutzall extreme flame burr on my die grinder's super dull, so I could, if it was sharper, I could have had those eyes carved way quicker. Anyways, thank you. Has anybody got any questions? I'm going to wrap up and get out of here. Thanks. Perry. Yeah, this guy's like he's stoned out of his mind. I gotta carve another tree for my yard. I can't see if I see how much battery I have left. Oh, I still got 42%. I'm just using all my data, no big deal. Looks like how you feel, Rob? I'm doing good, thanks. I'm doing better. I got some offcuts from that cedar that I got for the farmer. I can carve a tree quickly. because I carved a tree. I think I did it on YouTube. Yeah, when I made the hose holder, I carved a tree on the other piece of it, and then I had to donate that tree to a charity event for the Legion. And thank you for so much for all the kind words. So that's good. That's 3 wood spirits I've done. I'm telling you right now, you will not get any darker brown cedar than this stuff if you put a clear coat on it. I don't have a spray bottle with water. I only got that apple juice, but I'm not spraying that apple juice on this. No problem, James. Thanks for everything, man. And I'm not too impressed with that Manpa sander. It just leaves too much marks on the wood. Yeah, you can paint whatever you want. Yeah, I've done all that. I've done everything. I've painted in here, sanded it, bring out highlights. Don't drink the apple juice. So what do? Should we call it a day? Are you not supposed to be making fair stone? That's in a couple months, just carved up. So they all look different. Ooh, this is nice smelling cedar, this stuff. Ah, Google eyes, Google eyes. I'm gonna carve a tree. I'm going to carve a tree. Okay. When I carve my trees, I always carve the trunk first. This is 3" by 14" Western red cedar. See, it's an offcut. So a tree trunk. Carve a what? So I cut this piece out, this is gone, and this is gone. And here's my tree trunk. Out, out. You said carve a what? I don't have much juice left. That's why I'm doing a tree. Trees are no juice left carvings. Send it, Rob. So trees can do them all sorts of different ways. I'm just going to do this one the easiest way. By just kind of going like this. You guys see that? So I'm going to do my big cuts first. Then I'm going to carve in some tree branches. Ooh, it's getting hot. Too hot for the hot tub. Out of gas, gotta get some gas, out of gas. So what's that? 2 wood spirits I carved in a tree? Well, 3 wood spirits today. These are money makers, the trees, everybody, if you get yourself some scrap wood. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm sweating. Who goes home on a hot day and has a hot bath? Well, I do. I just pretend I'm in a swimming pool and I'm in the hot tub. Makes sense, doesn't it? Thanks everybody for being here.